We're going to be doing a rear hub assembly on a Buick Enclave. Not because the hub assembly's bad, but because the pickup ring for the ABS is broken up. So we got the ABS light on. We're going to start off with a 14 millimeter on the caliper. Get these two bolts off. These brakes are a little rusted. We'll see if that piston pushes back a little bit to help us out. Oh yeah, easy. Super lightweight caliper, aluminum. We'll just throw it over there. And then we've got 21 millimeter on the back of the caliper mounting bracket. These might be on there pretty tough. Oh yeah. Use a little bar for leverage. We got two of these back here. Get these taken off real quick. Don't let your mounting bracket fall. Put a hand on it. Make sure the slides are free on your brakes. These ones feel good. Little slide bolts. A little bit of Loctite in there. Bracket with pads is off. Now we gotta get this rotor off. We've got a Torx bit here. A little hold down screw. Got me a hammer while I'm at it. Might need it. See what size we got here. Got a T30 in my hand. T30 looks good. Give her a little tap into there. Just a little rusty. There we go, it broke free. Sometimes it's better to take that off before you take the brakes off. That way if it's in there good, you can have somebody hit the brakes or put a board on the brake pedal. But I've got tools for that. To get it come out. Now this is very corroded right here on the rotor. Nasty. I'm just trying to break it free. Hit in the flat spots of the rotor, but This one is disgusting right here in the center. Oh, I'm gonna take a break, wire wheel all this corrosion off, spray it down with some PB Blaster. Normally you could just hit the flat spots and a rotor comes off, but this one looks like it's been sitting. All right, we got that brake rotor off. It was almost like there was a weld. That's what it looked like. And this hub assembly against the rotor. And then there was so much rust on the back of the rotor, it was holding on to the e-brakes. And the back of that rotor was super rusty, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw a brake job on. Pad still had a good amount of life, but yeah, they need to be changed. I was able to save the rotor, but we're gonna go ahead and replace it anyways. Now you don't have to replace the e-brakes. You don't have to do anything to them. You can get this hub assembly off without. You got 3 18 millimeters on the back of here. And they should be on there pretty tight. This one, not too bad. Coming out pretty smooth. All right, there's 2. 1 more to go. There we go, 3 bolts out. This hub assembly is not just gonna fall out of there. Looks pretty rusty on the back. There's a couple ways to go about this. You can see if it starts to tap out. We're not worried about hitting our lug studs because they get replaced with the new hub assembly. Doesn't seem to be breaking free at all. All right, now this hub assembly is not coming off. If you're front wheel drive, it's gonna be wide open in the back besides this control arm. And you can get a pipe, hammer at the back of the wheel bearing, just don't hit your wheel speed sensor. And try to get it to pop out. This one has been sprayed down liberally everywhere. So that's not gonna help. Nothing's helping us. We're gonna start by taking one of the pads off and see if that'll get us anywhere. I just want to take the top spring off for now. There we go, little needle nose pliers. Easy. And now we got this hold down spring here. Let's see if we can get it to budge. This one is really oxidized. The hub assembly and rotor, everything else looks pretty clean on this vehicle. For some reason, everything to do with the hub is nasty. There we go, we got the top of this pad loose. Love to get this adjuster out of there. There we go. Make sure you put it right back where it goes. Maybe clean it up a bit. All right. Now we got a little spring down here in the bottom of the pad. Work the rust free of that a little bit. There we go. Maybe I can fit my pliers in there now and get a grab on it. Ooh, this guy does not want to get out of its home. The spring won't move at all. Come on, spring. There we go. Worked it free. We got that shoe. Shoe is out. That gives us a little more room to work here. Where's that big hammer? There we go. A lot of times you can just hammer these hubs out. We can actually get an angle on this one now, but it is rusted in there very good. I'm gonna take my air chisel, try not to hurt nothing. Get in between the hub assembly and the backing plate here. Try to start working it. Get underneath one of these ears. It looks like it budged just the slightest bit. Not much at all. This one is really in there. Oh, we lost our spring. Put that in a pile. There we go. They just kind of vibrated out. I'm gonna keep working this hub assembly. All right, the hub assembly is coming out of there. I took my air chisel bit, kind of sharpened it up on my bench vise a little bit, got it nice and a lot more pointier. I started working this here with most open side. Got a little gap going and kept on working it. And working it forward towards this ear. I got that ear broke free. Now, this ear down here is still flush against this backing plate. So I gotta work that ear out and it should pop out. So this one's super corroded in there. Torches could have helped. I already had it sprayed down with so much blaster, it would have just went up in flames if I put a torch to it. I would have had to have sprayed some brake cleaner all over it and let it hit it with the air compressor, clean it up, but there we go. It finally started breaking free. Now the last hub assembly I did just kind of fell right off, but sometimes this is what you get. Let's see if I can work it the rest of the way off. Making sure not to hurt any of these brakes. Could have just took them all off, but that's just a little more work. There we go. Now the whole backing plate's gonna come with it. We need to separate that, give it a little jiggle. There we go. And the backing plate holds on your brakes. There's our hub assembly, and the whole reason we're changing it is the magnetic ring is gone. They're just like adhesive down there, or crimped down there, and that one just broke apart. I'm gonna take my wire wheel and clean up all this corrosion everywhere, and then bust out my new hub assembly. I got everything cleaned up. Put a little bit of grease inside here where the hub assembly is going to contact. I think I want to put my e-brakes back together before I put the hub assembly on, because it's just a pain getting to those springs with the hub assembly on. Got less room. Try to fit this guy in there properly. There we go. Grab our star wheel. Make sure it's moving freely and all that. It's not seized up. Clean it up if it's seized up. Pop that guy right there. This vice grip's just kind of keeping the pad from coming out. Just a little trick. Put our pin in the back. Line her up. Just gonna press it down with a flat head to get it through there. If I can get her lined up. I didn't quite have it lined up. I can't see very well. Alright, stay straight for me, buddy. There we go. Give her a little spin. There, it's on the backing plate. Got that backing plate held in with the 3 bolts. I just got them in there loosely. We got the slightly smaller spring. It's gonna go on the top here. It's gonna route under the star wheel. Just get a grip on it. Go right where it was before we started taking things apart. Everything's shifting a little bit. Put these bolts back through all the way. Make sure our pads are seated where they should be. Everything's together, perfect. When you're cleaning everything up, just make sure you don't hurt that wheel speed sensor. Clean it off. And we're gonna have a torque spec. Nope, no torque spec. No axle nut. We're good. Duh. There we go. New hub assembly. Got your magnetic ring on the back. we're gonna try to line it up and get it started through the hub. Hard to spin. Stay still, buddy. I've got my 18mm on the back. So we can get these threads to start. Try to get them to start. I think this one started too now. Maybe. Yep. That one started. All right, as we tighten up these 3 bolts, it's gonna suck everything back together. Tighten them up really well. And it looks like I gotta wait for some brake parts to come in before we put it back together, but we're gonna tighten up all 3 of these hub bolts, put our rotor back on, maybe adjust the e-brakes a little bit if we have to with this star wheel. Put our mounting bracket back on, clean it up, put the new brake pads on, compress our caliper, use a C-clamp, use brake tools, whatever you use. I've got a caliper press back tool that's nice. And you know, put the brakes back together. That's the hub assembly. After I get everything back together, I'm gonna clear the ABS codes, and that light shouldn't be on no more. Service traction control shouldn't be on no more. That's how you change the rear hub assembly. Now this would not be very bad at all if that hub assembly just came out. First thing I tried was I sprayed everything with PB Blaster and I hit it from the back with a pipe. Being careful of the wheel speed sensor, it was not budging. There's just so much corrosion. It was a pain to get the rotor off. It was a pain to get the hub out. Not everyone's gonna be like that, but some of them are.